There's Mahomes to throw. Deep shot, left sideline, and it's caught. Justin Watson.
The second wide receiver, Watson, goes in motion. He's got soft coverage. Patrick sees the corner sit behind him and throws a ball beautifully out in stride.
Patrick's looking left the whole time, under some pressure. Scrambles out of there and shovels it forward to McKinnon.
You see it from Patrick. The Raiders are playing zone defense. He escapes out to his left. McKinnon does a phenomenal job of staying alive today.
Off the play fake. Stidham to throw on first down. Coming across is Foster Moreau, the tight end. Again, the NFL rushing leader. So pressure off the edge. Stidham able to escape.
And they expect him to have a big game today.
Fake of the Jacobs. Time for Stidham trying to run out of there. And able to make the first man miss. Hunter Renfrow motions into the slot. Fake. Stidham the throw. And there he is, Davante Adams. 3 to the right. Jacobs out, Abdullah in. Stidham going to be swallowed up and taken down. Back at the 35. Who else but Chris Jones gets there. Daniel Carlson season long is 57. This from 54. And he sneaks it through. Second down and 9. Off the play fake. Underneath. Noah Gray. First down yardage.
Not pass interference.
Guys, the officials don't get to slow it down live. I understand. Isaiah Pacheco. 3rd and 2. Raiders send 4.
As good a group of wide receivers as there is.
A little miscommunication in the backfield. 70 seconds to play in the quarter. Stidham loads up, deep shot. And it's intercepted. Juan Thornhill steps in front and makes the pick. And the 3rd interception of the season for Juan Thornhill. First turnover of the game. That's Kansas City in Las Vegas territory. Patrick Mahomes across the middle, able to complete. Juju Smith-Schuster. First down and 10 already with a 7-3 lead. Last few plays in this first quarter. It's Kadarius Toney. First down yardage. Inside the 2. Mahomes out of the gun. Bit of a low snap. Ronald Jones. Touchdown, Kansas City. Second and 11. Stidham the throw. So you have that confidence if it wavers. Not right there. Darren Waller the catch. Stidham on the center. Fake it to Jacobs. Stidham will step up. With a pump fake and a run.
That's the case. Get off.
3rd and 2. There's the pressure. Picked up. Underneath. Complete. Davante Adams. Of the season. Just got it away. Zeros on the play clock. Stidham the throw. Underneath. Caught. It's Amir Abdullah. Makes the man miss. Here's Stidham looking left the whole way. Up for grabs. And Darren Waller couldn't bring it down. Davante Adams motions through the formation. Chiefs rushing 4. Stidham out of there. Throwing on the run, and it's knocked away. Penalty against the Raiders all season. Here's Mahomes sprinting out to the right.
He will give it to you all game long.
1st and 5. Mahomes comes out firing and completing. 2nd and 5.
Yeah, he said he was worried about his durability when running in there in the high traffic areas, but no issues.
Mahomes throwing and completing. Kadarius Toney, little shake and bake. The best at converting 3rd and 10. So here we go from the 30. Mahomes surveys, now gets out of there. Gets the 20, and he's tripped up from behind by Max Crosby.
Humphrey got called for the hold, I believe. That's incorrect.
Well, it wasn't Toney either.
Here's Toney. Takes the end around. Into the end zone. Signal is touchdown for Kadarius Toney.
His running skills, his balance, his strength. I mean, he just runs through arm tackles. You see here, that ball goes over top the pylon, breaks the plane. Reach it out. It's hard to see by that angle.
Look at Kelce.
Here's a better angle of it. Yeah, he breaks it. I don't think that arm is down on the ground.
Raiders have 2 timeouts. 47 seconds to play with. Pressure is picked up. Stidham throws. Found a soft spot in the middle of that defense. Davante Adams out to midfield.
And they are getting better and better.
First down and 10. Stidham in trouble. And he'll be taken down. Karlaftis, the rookie. Tough to get all those sacks when you're playing inside.
Yeah, you know, but that's where he said he likes to play on third down and in pass rush situations.
Another flag. 3rd and 27. Stidham drop. Football comes out. Karlaftis the clear recovery. And we'll check the flag. Out of the hold of Tommy Townsend. On the way and good. Stidham throws. There's Hunter Renfrow. First down and then some. 20. Handed to the second man through. Oh, first down and then some. 3rd and 15. Chiefs have been getting home rushing for. Why not? Here's Renfrow.
But yeah, I mean, I see your point.
Opportunity, right?
Absolutely.
Daniel Carlson has hit now 31 consecutive field goals.
You're going to double? You're going to double Kelce at the bottom?
Max Crosby introduces himself again to Patrick Mahomes.
A pair, not for one.
3rd down and 3. Stidham. Right sideline and knocked away. Wanted Darren Waller on the explosive.
I mean, we could see that from up here. It was coming wide open.
2nd and 10. Haven't seen a lot of Mahomes running the football today. We'll point out his blockers and pick it up.
Where they're going with the football, which makes them all the more dangerous.
Out to McKinnon, just a little behind him. What are the Chiefs thinking here, Dan?
I think you're trying to go in the football game if you're the Chiefs.
There's Mahomes. Crosby got a piece of him. Not enough.
Especially in recent weeks. They haven't played their best football.
Here's Mahomes, patient. No team -5 or worse in a turnover differential has won the Super Bowl since the Giants in 2007. Taken off is Pacheco. Motion McKinnon. Pacheco's in there as well. And they give it to Pacheco. Touchdown, Kansas City. And the rookie, so that's a smart rookie. Give it to Joe Thuney for the celebration.
It's a situation where maybe some of his play on the field, especially over the past 5 weeks, had something to do with it. The number of turnovers, their inability to close out games. The Pittsburgh game comes to mind in particular.
2nd down and 7. Here's Stidham. In audition, even if he's not calling that.
Eating breakfast, and all of a sudden he finds out he's going to be starting last week and then this week as well.
Stidham hanging in, throws to Renfrow.
Fair value for Josh Jacobs because he's just too good of a player, and Davante wants to be here.
Can get a first down. Chiefs rush 4, nearly get home. Renfrow over the shoulder, hauls it in. Touchdown Raiders.
That forces that defender McDuffie to shuffle inside. Then he wins leverage on the outside.
You know, but if you're Trent McDuffie, where you're lined up and you have a safety sitting inside,
yeah.
I mean, it's just like one of those. I mean,
so you're
Amik Robinson, great one-on-one play.
This feels like a screen situation for the Chiefs.
3rd and 5. Raiders get there.
In the conference.
Stidham takes a snap, draw play to Josh Jacobs. Gets the first down, putting the finishing touches.
And have more faith in this Chiefs offense, the way it's constructed now with...
Stidham coughs it up. And it's recovered. Great job, Davante Adams. That game coming up. Offense on the field for the Raiders on 4th and 21. Last call, Las Vegas. Stidham in trouble, wrapped up, taken down. Chris Jones has been a dominant force for the opening kickoff. 6th sack of the afternoon for Kansas City.
And, you know, again, a week that started scary ended off with DeMar incredibly.
Chiefs lock down the top seed in the AFC playoffs and the all-important bye that goes with it. And if it's not the Bills and KC gets that far, they will play the AFC Championship at home at Arrowhead and have home field advantage throughout. Buffalo plays New England tomorrow.